So welcome back friends. Today we will learn about the volatile keyword. So volatile, the primary function that the volatile keyword solves is to ensure correct visibility between threads. So so the volatile keyword ensures that the value of the variable that we are modifying, its correct value is reflected across threads. Okay, so why do we need something to ensure this? Why is this not implicit? Okay, this is this is not implicit. Sometimes the values are cached in the threads memory. Okay, so suppose we have thousands of threads modifying a variable. If it is not volatile, the changes may take some time to reflect outside the thread, yeah, at other places or in other threads. Okay, but if it is volatile, so sometimes it is written in the cached memory, and then this cached memory is synced to the main memory a later point of time, or you can say it is written in the registers. Okay, but if it is volatile, it will always be written into the main memory. Okay, so because it will always be written to the main memory, the other threads will also read it from the main memory, and they will always read the latest value. Okay, and this is the one first function that volatile helps us solve. And there is another, it prevents JVM from, so when the JVM uh, when the JVM reads the bytecode to create the machine code, it might do some instruction reordering. Suppose you have written instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, it can do instruction 2, instruction 1, instruction 3. So it can change the order to optimize the code, and the JVM generally does it. But if that code involves a volatile variable, then JVM is not allowed to do instruction reordering. Okay, so instruction ordering is done to create a more optimized code, and volatile is used to prevent instruction reordering. So earlier we learned that we had to synchronize or achieve a lock on that object, on a particular object, to change it to when we are sharing its state within threads. Suppose we have 5 threads and we have an object, it has some properties, so we had to synchronize our getter setters and the methods synchronize, so that only one thread can modify at the one time, so that the correct value is always reflected. But if the variable is volatile, then you don't need to synchronize. So prevents the need for synchronization. So it prevents the need for synchronizing, for the need for us to synchronize our methods. Okay, so because there is no synchronization, the performance of the code can also be faster. Multiple threads can access it at one time, and all of them read and write from the main memory, so there is no thread safety concerns. Okay, but the combination of two volatiles is not works in a similar way. If you have one volatile property, yeah, you can say that any thread can read and any thread can write. But if you have two volatile properties, one is reading, one is writing, one is reading other, one is writing other, then there might be still be a problem. But for one volatile variable, there will never be a problem. Okay, so let's understand this more with the help of a code example. So let's see this example. Okay, so in this example we are seeing that we have a class which is called volatile example, and we have only one property. Okay, so always remember, it doesn't work for a combination of more than one properties, but it will work fine for one property. Okay, so this is a boolean variable. We have initially set it to true. Then we have this run method. Okay, this is not the thread.run method because it is not extending any thread or implementing a runnable. So this is a simple method. We have just called it run. So in this we have this sysout message printed, which is thread started. Then while, we have a while condition in which we are not doing anything. Okay, but initial value of run is true, so this while condition is always true, and this loop will always continue to run. It will never end. If you have forgotten while loop, please check the previous section where we have talked about it. Okay, so if this variable always remains true, this line number 16 will never get executed, and this loop will continue to learn endlessly. Then we have the stop method. In this we are setting this running boolean to false. Okay, and then we are printing another syshouse method, thread will stop soon. So this will set it to false, and then this loop will stop, and this line number 17 can be executed, otherwise it will never be executed. So we are creating a thread, and in the thread example we are passing this run method. Okay, and then we are starting the thread. We are pausing the current thread for a few moments, so at least let it run for some moments, and then we are calling this stop example stop method of this thread on this thread. So basically when we call this stop, sometime or the other it will get called. It will set this running to false, which should stop this loop, and this out should be printed. If you are not able to follow what we have written here, it is, please revise method reference which we have talked earlier. This is, in simple words we can do this also, like, and we can pass a method reference as well here. It is more or less the same thing. Or we can override the threads run method as well here, and then do that, which we have done many times here. So it is more or less the same thing. Basically we are passing overriding the run method here. Okay, here we are passing method reference. You can revise method reference. So we are passing this run method, and we are calling this stop here. This is a new thread, and this is the original thread where we are executing is another thread. We can say that this is thread A and this is thread B. So but any change in thread B that we do to this running boolean variable should reflect in thread A as well. Thread A is running this run method, but here it is a simple boolean variable. If we run this class, we can see this line has printed thread started. Okay, then this line has also printed thread will stop soon, which means this method has executed, which means running is set to false. If running is set to false, why is this loop not ending? You can see the execution is still going on, it is not stopping. Why is it happening? So this should stop, the running should end. This is happening because the changes in this main thread that we have done, because the changes in this main thread that we have done here, which is setting running to false, is not reflecting inside this thread which is running this method. It is still assuming running to be true. The update from this call here at line number 26 is not reflecting to line number 13. Okay, this is because of this thread which we have declared at line number 22. It's maintaining its own local copy of this running variable. It is reading a cached value every time it is coming here. That is why it is not stopping. Now we will do a very simple change here. What we will do is we will write volatile. Now this thread here will always read the value of running boolean from the main memory and not from the cached memory or thread local registers memory. It will always read it from the main memory. Now let's see what is the difference that happens. If we run this again, you see, as soon as this line is executed, running value is set to false, and because running is set to false, this loop is ending, line number 16 is getting executed, and the program has ended. So if you want to share correct value between threads without synchronizing, for one variable you can use volatile. Okay, now let's look at another example. So this example we have of instruction reordering. Here you can see that we have created two methods, writer and reader. Okay, the initial value of x is 0 and the value of flag is false. In writer method, we are updating these values. We are setting x as 42, flag as true. In reader value, what in reader method, what we are doing is we are saying that if flag is true, then print the value of x. Okay. If flag is false, then don't do anything. And initial value of flag is false. And we are running these two methods in two different threads. So now if we execute this, it has print the value of x, which means that first we called writer first. So writer updated the value of x as 42 and value of flag as true, and then it called reader, and then because flag was true, it printed the values. But let's call this method, let's rerun this class many times. Okay, you see in the next iteration only nothing is printed. Why? We were calling writer first. If writer was called first, then obviously flag should be have been true and we should have seen something on the console. But this is not the case, because what the JVM does, it sometimes reorders the instruction. It can make some it can do some reordering. Okay, but so let's try this again. We can see many times if we are running, sometimes we will see a print and sometimes we will see nothing at all. You see, this time again we are seeing nothing as on because reordering has happened. Thread reader has run first, thread which was executing method reader has run first, and thread which was executing method writer has run later on. Okay, so if we want to prevent this instruction reordering, if we make this boolean variable as volatile, and now if a boolean variable is involved, reordering will not happen. Okay, now let's run it many times. We haven't not made it volatile. Let's make it volatile. Now we have made this boolean variable volatile. Okay, now let's run it many times. So now we are making both of them volatile. Now every time we should see the correct value. We should see, now reordering should not happen. Okay, because we have made these variables as volatile. So for volatile, the JVM doesn't do reordering. Okay, so every time we run, it will never happen that in any case we don't see a console log or we see a stale value, because we have suggested to the JVM don't do reordering because we have made our variables as volatile. Okay, so this is volatile helps us share consistent state, and volatile also helps us do prevent instruction reordering. Now another interesting case for volatile is, in this example what we are doing is we have a, let's make it let it be volatile. So we have a count variable. In the increment operation we are doing a count first, and then the get count we are getting the count, and in two threads we are calling increment operation 1000 times. Both of them, in both of the threads we are calling it 1000 times. We are starting both of the threads, we are joining both of the threads to the current thread, which means these two will execute first and then the current thread will end, and then line number 39 will get executed. So if we run this, and this is volatile, we have made this volatile, so correct value should be reflected. Okay, this is what we are expecting. If we run it many times, this time we have got a correct value. Let's run it many times. Okay, you see this time once we got a stale we didn't get a current value. You see we are getting 1752. But why? We had already made this volatile, so both these threads should have shared the correct value with each other. Okay, both these thread T1 and T2 should have shared the correct value with each other. Then why this problem is happening? This problem is happening because this count plus plus is not an atomic operation. It is a combination of three operations, which is, first you are reading the value of count, then you are updating the value of count, and then you are setting the updated value to the original variable count. It's a combination of three it is a combination of three operation. That is why, because it is not an atomic operation, here volatile will not work. So the solution for this is you have to use atomic integer. Okay, so you need to remove this and instead of this you can do count dot, or in fact let's here do, instead of count because let's do increment and get. Okay, now this is atomic operation. It makes these three operations, reading, modifying and writing, into an atomic operation. Okay, here also what you need to do is, instead of this you need to do, okay, so basically because this operation was non-atomic, we are using atomic integer. This class is provided by Java. If you click, you can see it is there in the java.util.concurrent.atomic package. If you click here, you can see it is part of the Java library. So going back, yeah, now let's execute this example again. Now if we run it many times, we can see that now there is no problem. Okay, every time we are getting an updated value. You need to remember about this, plus plus is not an atomic operation. Even though we used volatile, we were not able to see the correct result. Okay, so this is all about volatile variable.